Alright, and welcome back to Let's Learn Shadow Empire. I'm going to cover the zones now, I think. So, you know your leaders, let's learn about Gelt, our city. So, it's currently being led by Victor. As we saw last time, Victor is not the best of people. So, we may want to replace him. We already know we got someone who's much better. So, we'll start off by... Well, actually, I don't know if I'm actually going to play through for this. I won't bother with that now. But this gives you some input about gold. Gold is a population of 50,600. Its next level is 50,000. You get no free folk in the zone because there's no free folk in the zone, and the zone recon is 999. This makes it a small town. This is highlighted red, but we'll get to that in a second, because as you may have noticed, our population is above that. So, one of our decisions is a city upgrade. We spend 10 of our 15 political points.
Roger that.
And we're now a big town. Woohoo! So, this basically is your city level. When you construct stuff, you will be limited by your city level, what you can build. We've already got one of them. So, apparently we can't upgrade. What have we got then that means we can't upgrade? Oh, it's a free folk farm, it's a private industry farm, which is why we can't upgrade that. It's already a farm free though, so it's producing a huge amount of food. Right, so that will basically is a cap on your level of building. The higher you get, the higher level. Higher levels are more expensive of course, but they give you more bang for your buck. And can be crammed into a smaller location. Population is down to 100 because 500 went into the military, 100 went into public employment, which is your workers, and 200 was natural growth. So you went up 300, down 200. That's fine. Workers went down 200 because we don't need them. Very quick capital zone. So, administrative strain is something you won't have to worry about in the start of the game, but will become important later on. The larger your zone is, the more stuff you've got going in, the more you have to administrative strain you pick up, and that is a straight reduction on your ability to do things. So it's like a percentage decrease in your zone management. So 1 or 2% isn't much of a problem. 10-15% if you're really getting at the high is definitely going to cut into what you're doing. You want that's noticeable levels. Invested budget, that's how much you can allocate to get the private economy going. Investment given, that's how much has gone in this turn. So, yeah, you can say I want to give money. Verta. I just noticed a spelling mistake. I can't comment now. But that's how much it has actually made in. Treasury, so say I want to give them 100. I actually only had 50 in my account account, they got 50, but they already had 100 from last turn, this will be 150. Emergency food is if the food drops, that shouldn't be a problem with that big private farm. Recruitment sign up, the more credits you pay if people join up, the more people are likely to. Save for colonists. So this is currently set at 500, but that can be easily modified. 20% intern tax, 10% tail tax, and is part of the first strategic HQ. Happiness is 100, loyalty is 83. Loyalty impacts recruitment, and it is also limited by happiness. Loyalty cannot be above. If loyalty goes above happiness, it will then be brought down until it rests at the same level of happiness. There's no hunger. So, this is their threshold. So, if you take 1% casualties, then these people won't matter. If you take 2% short term, which is the last 3 turns, they're going to start again happy. If you get their brothers, fathers and sons get murdered, probably the sisters as well, that's probably equal opportunity wastelands, people are going to remember that. This is higher, but it's 20 rounds. So, if you go off in a war, say we were to invade Hesse down here, which is probably going to happen in this game because they're damn close, then your losses are going to have an effect of happiness back home. You get too many people killed, people are going to remember it. Workers are a bit happier, basically if they're hungry, if they're getting paid. Public sector apparently much easier to keep pleased. It's your civilization score, which is I think it's the average of your quality of life score. So each one of these, if we don't have any, if you have assets, some things, if we go back to construction, will give you, we don't actually have access to any of them. Some technologies will give you quality of life bonuses like security and health. Health security. Those will feed into keeping the population happy. So at this point they're happy, free from luxury, free from that, and then 30 from an event. Probably my coronation, just keep everyone happy to begin with. So these points will have some secondary effects, but they also lead into a quality of life, which then just keeps your people happy. And the more of this you get, the higher this civilization level will go. Cultural adaptation. This is when you take a city, they'll have their own culture, and it will take time for that culture to be adapted. So that means that until the culture is adapted in, you will have a few issues with rebellions and stuff like that. So you can keep them as unincorporated zones, or you can try to incorporate them, which will give you more options but more trouble. Final one down here is truck points, which it will go into more in logistics. Just say this is what this strategic head-shearing city is producing. Militancy we kind of covered. They're going to be choosing an Uber or battalion whenever their manpower reaches the current size. So we'll probably get another unit pretty soon. And they've got their own replacements. Danger is will negatively impact happiness. So here it's 7 dangerous, drop happiness by 3 points. That will drop fairly soon. That's probably due to the fact there's another city just to our south. And then this is the cult followers. 11% of the people here follow it. Happiness because of celebrations, but they have a recruitment penalty. So that's how you watch your cults. So that's your city. Now you've noticed here we've got 2 little things outside our city. We've been blessed with a water deposit, which is level 7, means it's easier to mine, I think. I'm sure that's the way to go. And a metal deposit. This is great because although water isn't going to be much of a problem in this, because it's a habitable world, some places that would be a gold mine. If you're on a desert world, a water deposit is what you need to keep your people alive. Metals is going to be very useful. So, these, as you notice, are outside your city. That's not what I was trying to fit. So in the city, we have no deposits of metal, so we can't build anything. We could build an industry, government, or something like that. Or, we could go, if we click on the hex, we now have access to the metal mining facility. So, this is going to be the hardest thing to get your head around, and as this is the preview code, this may change by the full release, but you have 2 rounds of 1 machine, 1,000 workers, 125 industrial points, will then give you, with 1,100 workers and 20 energy, 250 metals around. Now, we're currently making 95 industrial points, the 45 a turn. So we cannot afford this mine. We will not be able to afford this mine for several turns. We're getting a little bit of metal. Most of this is coming from this scavenging unit in the city, where we're digging up the old remains. So as much as we want, we might want to think of looking about building an industry, which is 80 for 3 rounds, so 160. That would then give us 50 industry points on top of the 45 we're already getting from the zone, which is just general worker level, I think. Okay. Let's go through your resources, shall we? Food. Food is generally needed by soldiers and workers and soldiers, so it's generally considered that the population get their own food, mainly from buying it from the city farm, but you have to provide food for the public sector workers and for the farm, your soldiers. So at this point, what we're tithing off this farm is 126, and of that, we're getting 109, and we're using like 46 of that, so we're down to 63. Water, we get 228 from the zone, which is just generally rainfall, I think. We're not technically using anything because we're not really farming of our own. Oil is coming from the scavenging area, going 16 a turn, 16. Ammunition we're not going to use for a little while because we're not shooting anything. This is a bit different. This is constructed in the workshop. You can also, if you have rare materials, produce machines. But to begin with, they're going to be a bit expensive. Like 20, so you're going to have to get industrial, like rare materials before you can do any of that. Metal is used in pretty much everything. Industrial points are... Metal and industrial points are your most important. That's basically your industrial capacity. So the more that you've got, the more you can actually like expand. So you want as much of these two as possible. And those are both on that's got a maximum of 1077. That is not got a maximum capacity. They all have a little maximum capacity. I'll cover that in a second. Energy, we're getting 90 a turn. We have no radioactives. We've got 2,600 recruits and getting 500 a turn. No colonists, no rare metals, no machines, and no high-tech parts. High-tech parts, radioactives are late game ones, you don't have to worry about them. Although you may want to start building them up early if you think you're going to throw nukes around. Or nuclear power plants. And colonists and recruits are dealt with in here. So just click off Cold Falls, back to Big Town. And if we go into zone orders, we can set how the zone works. So public budget is what gets fed into getting the private economy going. The more money you send them, the more that will get built. If you've got plenty of money, that's pretty useful. Colony sign-up bonus and recruitment bonus is how much that. And this says how many recruits you want to turn. So if you up that to 5,100, if 5,000 people want to join the army, they will. I'd be wary about having that too high, especially early game, because recruits you have to give them food, and if you haven't got the industry to build units, you can kind of dig yourself in the right food hole and wages, because each one of those guys will then want wages, which is set somewhere else. So, when you're done, you can also change the zone name here, and change if you want to recruit your troop, your workers. So if you know that you're going to be doing lots of big projects, you can switch to Don't Fire. That sets a fixed amount where you can set that here, and then that sets a fixed amount, Never Fire. So just give you some options. Normally this is fine, but there are some at a time, so you want the others. You'll figure that out yourself. And if you want to allow emergency food, and then this is it. The difference between an incorporated zone and an unincorporated zone. And just hit confirm. Let's shut that down. So, this will build up a little stockpile of emergency food, and that'll keep people happy. So, building something. I'll show you what you do. So in this case, something else will happen. We're building outside the town. If we were to build here, So this is, I will actually start this off because I'm not going to carry on, but if you hit start construction, it will it'll start building. So you've still got exactly the same. It won't take the amount until the end of the turn. However, this place does not have a road. So if I construct our little mining depot here, we've lost the cost of the road it's had to build out to it. So when they're built, which will be 2 turns plus an extra turn for it to become online. So after they've built it, it has to be kind of brought online. Of course, this 2 turns as if they have enough materials, but I've just placed orders for, I keep hitting colonize instead of construct, sorry. I've just placed orders for a like nearly 300 industry and metal a turn when we do not have that much, so they will just get a little bit every turn until they're finished. So this would crash the economy. This would be bad. Alright, so this border here going around the side is your zone border. Everything inside that border belongs to a zone. You've got a little dashed line here, so this one is part of Wormstadt. This is part of Hessen, this is part of Schlesien, this is controlled by the Schlesien Reich. Strategy map up here will show your neighbours. And we have a great big mountain range running down here with a slight pass here. So this now gives you an idea of what's going around. So these guys are minor, so we can just move straight into their territory. If it was a major, we'd stop unless war was declared, which is kind of an interesting thing. You'll kind of expand, let's go back to the strategy map, until you reach a major. I think Hawking Federation up there, Hockrim, Iron Space. Yeah, so all these different regimes are nearby, but you don't know that much about them. One of them will turn out to be a major, well, probably about 5 or 6, it'll tell you whatever's at the start. And then you'll kind of run into each other. So the way the game tends to go is you tend to expand, you take over the minor regimes, you take over all this like free folk territory down here, the grey stuff. So this world's quite interesting because you've got everybody's crammed into here, and then you've got this huge open wilderness on the other side of this mountain range that no one's really colonised. So we're in a really dense bit, but if we go through this little path here, which is just forests with a few low mountains near it, if we were to go through there, we'd then have all this area no one else is contacting. Now, that doesn't mean it's empty. Just because it's just free folk means there's no big cities. There could well be like militia bands, mutants, ravaging beasts. This could just be as deadly as anything else, but what it just means is it's not got a city nearby. So it won't be producing major troops, it'll just be producing low level troops. So, how do you conquer and make your zone? Simple, you just move out. And we've got ourselves on the border of Hesse already. And we'll send somebody up here. And we'll send someone down to get these things. And we'll send someone up here. Now, as you notice, as we're expanding, we are taking more things. I'll cover movement in the combat thing. I'm just moving here to show what's happened. So, we have taken several new assets. We've taken Genfen, we've taken Prebits. So if you go down here, you can select just what's in the hex. And you can see Prebits is massive. Prebits has 54,000 free folk. Genfen here has got 3,700. So if we go back to our city, having expanded, we now have the capacity to recruit. If we're offering a better society than the free folk out on the side, we've got the ability for 68,000 people to flow into our city. If all 68,000 do, then the city will be 100,000 and we'll go up to a small city rather than a big town. That's great. On the other hand, if we were to drop people's happiness, maybe by, oh yes, I somehow managed to pull one that didn't have much of a, there we go. Bad rations, returning your troops. But yeah, if you were to mismanage everything and drop the happiness, people will float out of the city back to the free folk. So it's just kind of push and pull. So migration is a big thing in the game. People will also leave a bad city for a good city. So if we were to take Hessen down here, which we are not going to, with these guys, then we would see people moving between those two cities quite regularly. Okay. I think that's about it. So you can see up here we've got Cannon, which is over 30,000 people. Crypta 27, Pasaf 13, 37. There's lots of people in these free folks, so this is a good possibility for Galt to expand rapidly. So what we'll do now is we'll do a little end turn, and you can see what will happen in the next turn. So this is going to be random. So if you watched the last video, you saw we had an event which the last lady I changed finished, failed. You always get that on the second turn. Alright, abandoned troops have found storage in Geffen. 222 credits, excellent. Free high-tech items. So as you explore, you will kind of, so Geffen, there's this one here. You will find you can get stuff. So they've made a big mistake. We're going to invade Wormstadt and we're going to move into the city. Oh, it's an ambush. Alright. They haven't made a mistake, I just had bad recon. I'll cover that another time. So, look what's happened. We've crashed our economy. We're now 71 in that we've used 77 metal and 71 industrial points. Our assets are nowhere near constructing because we had no machinery. We've got some workers there. And yeah, generally that went poorly. But if we go to gold, we'll notice that the population's gone up 12,000. So 100 people left public employment, 1,500 were taken into public employment. The luxury private economy attracted 8,000 free folk. 4,300 migrated into the city. And 200 from natural growth. 500 taken out to the military, and let's say 1,400 left to become workers. And 100 workers left to be happy somewhere else. So we just went up 12,000 in a season. In whatever, I forgot what the overall period of this one is. But yeah, in about 3 months, 10,000 people have flocked to the city. And that's kind of, if I was to go down here, and add these guys in. Oh, it's actually somebody in that city. But yeah, if you were to add these guys in, then that's even more options. Say the free folk, drop by that. And you'll see this like push and pull go. These guys got rifle militia with, looks like not even using environment pursuits because I can see their arms. So, yeah, this one's kind of waffled on a little bit. Let's see if we can take Cannon. Cannon will add in another 25,000 free folk. Oh look, we found another city. This place has got loads of cities really close. I'd say it's a really interesting one because you've got all these city-states packed together and then there's big open nothingness in that direction. So we're going to probably, this one, if it was to play out properly, would be a very interesting game to do. Because, yeah, having two cities within like a screenshot of each other, I've not seen that yet. Okay, but yes, you've got an idea now of how this works, and hopefully you'll join me next time, which, I don't know, I think I may go through the like movement and combat, because this has been quite an empty one, but hopefully you find it useful.